This is LTV.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank, create success, enterprisebanking.com.
Hello and welcome Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarola. I'm here for the city, and right now I'm trying to, share this on social media. There you go. It's Thursday, and we're live this afternoon, as we are each and every Thursday. There's so much to talk about. Let me just give you the heads up. Tonight at 7 o'clock is the concert at Carter Park. So it's like the first Thursday that it wasn't raining out. So concert tonight, 7 o'clock. And also, we have concerts down there, Leominster Sounds on the Common. That starts at 5 o'clock, so it's 5 to 8, and that's every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And, usually it's a solstice, but might be a couple duets and some small bands. And it's just to show off local talent. So if you have a chance, maybe grab some supper and stroll over to the downtown of the Common. Last week, all the tables were full, standing room only. People had gone to one of the restaurants, fast food downtown, and brought over a pizza, and it was really nice. And so anyway, that starts 5 to 8, and the concert over at Carter Park is at 7. Let's go right to the phones, because it's none other than the great, the powerful. That's it. It's Art from the Art Report. Art, how are you?
I am not bad, sir. I am not bad at all. Before I forget, a quick reminder, it's transition time to put the snow blowers next in line and the lawnmowers in back of the snow blowers, if you got a shed or whatever, and get them ready. Change the oil in what you've been doing with the lawnmower and chuck the oil in the snow blower. If it's dirty, change it and get ready.
Or go get an electric one that runs by battery.
There you go.
Then all you got to do is turn it on.
Yep. And I got a major hats off. I used to always make sure that when I was in the workforce to compliment when it was due. And some things are just so incredibly awe-inspiring I saw today. Coming through downtown Leominster, I saw a gentleman on his hands and knees with a putty knife taking gum off the sidewalk in front of the bank. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hats off to that man.
Oh, yeah. Nope. We've got some...
He was scraping on his hands and knees the sidewalk.
That's it.
If there wasn't someone behind me, I'd pull over if there was a parking spot. I was going to get out and thank him and buy him a coffee. I mean, I think it's wonderful.
Well, I know who it is, and I will thank him and buy him a coffee. How's that?
Please do. I mean, it's just, I think that's over and above the top. I really do.
Oh, man.
But,
they're out there in the middle of winter.
I noticed going into a lot of little stores that gum that is stuck to the concrete, it really stands out, and it's ugly. And, he's making the place look... It's just amazing to me. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, they're out there in the middle of a snow. I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. I don't care when it is. He's out there, and that's why I say we've got great teams of people. Great teams of people doing wonderful things.
Yeah, it's a touch of awe-inspiring. These guys. It's not work to them because they're providing a service, and they want to do it the right way, and I think that's wonderful.
Yep.
And and another important thing, I've got it on my list to do. If you have anything that you want to bring in for the winter that is down at the graves, it's a good time to do it now because it'll be difficult to get at it if you got to trap through a foot of snow.
Yep.
You know, you never know, and you know, you have little gadgets down there or little angels and stuff on the stone that are portable, and you want to take it in for the winter. It's a good idea.
I agree.
And that's about it. Everything looks good.
Good.
The weather's here.
A little tinge of fall.
Oh, another shocker. I thought I would wipe down the Classic and put it away for the winter, and I always check the mileage. And this past year, my Classic went 50 miles.
That's it.
The whole year, 50 miles.
Wow. Amazing.
From storage to cruise nights, back in storage.
Yeah, I got to get down. I got to get down to one of those cruise nights at Kimball's. I haven't had a chance. It's been so busy every night. Something going on.
Yeah, they're a good time down there. They know how to do it. And this will be my last winter with the truck. I'll be bringing it to Framingham and presenting it to my grandson, who is now in driver training, which is mandatory for your license.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be getting the truck. And he's doing everything he's supposed to do. He's an honor student. Tackle for Framingham, Keith Tech in Framingham, 6 foot, 203.
Wow.
Yeah. And when he puts the pads on, he looks like a giant.
I bet he does.
It's a wonderful thing, and he's a gentleman. He's a very nice young man. And that comes from other people, too, by the way. People that don't even know him, which I think is wonderful.
No.
Having said that, keep up the good work, Mayor. We'll be talking to you.
All right, Art. That was Art from the Art Report. We'll be talking to him next week, I'm sure. 978-534-1626 if you have any questions. Want to talk about a certain subject, that's fine. And what's this? Let me see what this is. Sometimes people text me, they don't want to talk on the... Oh, okay. Somebody wanted to know about the... there was an accident this morning at the quarry in Sterling, and they wanted to know if they released the name of it. I haven't heard anything yet. And the last thing you want to do is release the name of someone involved in an accident publicly before the family. And, you know, oftentimes the family members live, you know, far away, and they're not local, and it's hard to reach them, and people go to work. And that's the last thing you want to do is sort of release information to anybody about anything. You know, sometimes, yeah, I mean, that's the last thing you want to do is, you know, put it out there publicly. So we don't know. We just know there was a tragic accident at the mine today over there on Choxet Road. And I believe it was a fatality. And I guess a chunk of the stone came undone or collapsed onto a piece of heavy equipment and killed the operator. And that's pretty much all we know. But anyway, if you have any questions at all, 978-534-1626, and we will be right back. On Tuesday, which is the 20th, we're having our giant, massive, big-time World Series. Google it. There's never been an event that had this many lemonade stands.
Really?
Nice job. And we're back here. Nice job on the production of that. He did a great job, Josiah. Nice job. Take a bow. He's back there. He ain't going to take a bow. Anyway, we're back here in Inside Leominster, 978-534-1626. And oh, what a night. It's Tuesday night, the 20th, and we had a blast. And I thought kids would come out with a little table and they might decorate them a little. This was pretty interesting. I was very impressed. They came out and they had gone. I mean, they had been working. Some of these kids were working for a couple of weeks on those lemonade and Kool-Aid stands. You could see the young lady had processed fresh mango and strawberries. And I said to her, I said, how'd you do? Did you do all right? Seemed like she did all right. She says, well, I don't know if I got my investment back. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, it cost a lot of money to, do like fresh pineapple and fresh squeezed lemons. And I said, well, sometimes in business that's, you got to maybe, talk about the quality of your product and let people know that, maybe you're charging a little more. But kids were very competitive. Some kids were going around with bullhorns. Some had signs. They were walking around trying to pull people. That's the entrepreneurship. See, they understand that spirit really young in life. It's intuitive, I think, sometimes, just embedded in them, that competitiveness. And so we had a great time. We want to thank our partners at Fidelity. They were here last week, Fidelity Bank. And they were here with us last week talking about it. And they gave out to their favorite stand, they gave actually this stand was just a table, but nicely decorated. Well, they got themselves a full lemonade stand, like the real deal. And that was compliments of Fidelity Bank. And as well, Fidelity Bank showed up with their ice cream truck, and they give away free ice cream. So it was a wonderful night. I was thankful that so many people came out to support them. And, most of the kids shook their head when I said, how'd you do? Did you do all right? And they're like, oh, yeah, I did all right. And, well, anyway, it teaches a lot about business. Speaking of business, a lot of business owners were there. And I saw the Adams from Adams Tool and Neil up there up on North Main Street. And I saw Bill Brady from Brady's. I saw a number of business owners that were there. And, I'm sure they probably had the lemonade stands themselves, and they were there to support the next generation of entrepreneurs, right? You never know. 978-534-1626. Luke Beaulac's my guest. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Working for the city. He is the part of the code enforcement department in the city, and his job is compliance. And I call it more than compliance. I call it nudging. You know what nudging is, Scott? You know what nudging is? Yes. You do. Nudging is like when you're young and you're supposed to have your book report done, and now it's Sunday night, and you've procrastinated, and you didn't get it done, and it's like you had your tomato soup and grilled cheese, and you took your shower or bath, and now it's like, so did you get that thing done? Well, I'll get up early tomorrow morning. No.
No, it's going to get done today.
We're going to get this thing done today. Or Boy Scouts. Sometimes Boy Scouts, they have till they're 18 to get their Eagle Scout. And oftentimes, they need a nudge. Usually it's from mom, but sometimes mom and dad, but they need a nudge. And sometimes for us, we approve projects. And a lot of times when they approve these projects, it's a developer or the business or whoever it might be, or the homeowner that says, listen, I want some waivers. I don't want to have to build sidewalk. There are things I
of course.
like not to do. They're very costly. I can't afford to do them. And then in exchange for that, we say, well, can you plant some trees or can you do landscaping? So there's certain things that people might do. And sometimes they just forget.
That's happened a few times.
Or they get a license to sell cars, and there's supposed to sell 10 cars, and there's 20 cars there.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of pull over and give them a nudge.
Yeah, we talk to them. I try to take an educational approach when I talk to some of the business owners, even some of the homeowners, when it comes to a few issues that they're having at home. One big problem is roosters. We're not allowed to have roosters in town. So I try to educate them before I reprimand.
Yeah.
It's way easy to talk to somebody and say, hey, look this is what it is. I don't want to hurt you, but let's just do this.
Yeah.
And even talking to some of the businesses, I mean, they appreciate it when you have a face-to-face and one-on-one with them, rather than just send a letter and just say, hey, we're going to do this.
Yeah, sometimes you legitimately forget. You get busy.
Exactly.
And, trying to open the place, you're running around, you find, more things that you need. You thought it was going to cost you $20,000 to set the thing up, new business. Now you're up to 40. You're scrambling because you want to get open, and there's, certain requirements before you can get open. And,
Correct.
So sometimes we just need a reminder and a nudge. The other piece of this is zoning. So oftentimes people will say, I'm going to buy this house, and boy, it's got a nice piece of land with it. I think I'm going to put my business here too.
Yeah, we've run into a lot of that. Okay, I'll give you a prime example without giving names. We had a gentleman who had a mobile car detailing, and he went from being mobile and then started running it out of his house. Unfortunately, where he lived, it wasn't zoned properly for that. So we had to say, hey, look, you got to go back mobile again. A lot of times when people are starting businesses and they sign up for their business certificate, they will get they'll sign a letter or an affidavit that says, hey, look, we're just using our home as just an office. And not
so it is
using it for anything
allowable
else.
if somebody wants a at-home business.
Yep.
Let's say you do bookkeeping or things like that, but not if like the UPS truck is backing up every 15 minutes.
Correct.
We still have, even though they've passed this new law, we still have, zoning.
Correct.
And there is certain zoning that things are allowed and other things that they're not. So you can't run a tractor-trailer operation out of your house in a residential neighborhood.
That's kind of frowned upon.
Right.
Especially when your neighbors are sleeping and it's 4 a.m. and the trucks are running, ready to go, but everybody's sleeping. That's the last thing they want to hear.
So the best thing to do, I would suspect, is to call and check. So you can check with yourself.
Yeah.
There's a planning department.
Yep.
There's economic development people, business advocates who are there to help you out. So we're not here to hurt anybody. But we're also here to protect, the neighbors who might now be living next to a business that isn't zoned properly.
Correct. Like I said, I'd much rather educate somebody and say, hey, look, I'd rather work with you as opposed to work against you.
Yeah. And we don't want to take the legal approach and have to
never
go to court with people or anything.
That just turns into a pain in the butt.
And so, I think one of the big things for us, even in business, is, especially small business, is oftentimes people will sign a lease or buy a property and then later find out they can't do what they thought.
Correct.
And they get so excited and they're like, well, it looks like an area that you could run a business. And in some places, in other communities, maybe it might be an allowable use, so it looks like that same neighborhood, but here it might not be. But we've really expanded the business use here with mixed-use overlays on Merriam Ave, the downtown overlay district. We've done mixed use in a number of different sections. And you know what I'm saying? So we've really expanded where you can operate a business. 978-534-1626. You worked at the DPW for how many years were you there?
I did. I worked there for about 9.5 years before I came to work at City Hall.
And you did a great job there.
Thank you.
And again, it takes a certain person because we don't want to appear as though we're coming down on everybody. And,
no, but the thing is that, like I always said, it's not that we're coming down on everybody. We just want everybody to know, hey, we're still there to keep an eye out, but just do things right. And we
want everybody to play by the same rules. So one person may say, geez, how come the other guy can do it? Or, I see this other person and they're doing same thing I'm doing. Well, it might be because they're grandfathered in.
Correct. We've had a few residential lots that have had grandfathered business that have been there for 100 years.
Right.
In our residential neighborhood.
They still have to comply to noise ordinances and that kind of thing, but in many instances,
still have to have all the permits. Still have to make sure everything is still there, and not have any lapse of time as far as going from, I'll say, an automotive repair shop that has been there for 50 years in a residential. Make sure there's not 2 years that they weren't doing those automotive repairs, where it would turn non-grandfathered.
So what happens is grandfathered lots, once you don't continue the use for 2 years, you lose the grandfather. So
correct.
you've got, if you, like you said, you're doing automotive repair, all of a sudden you stop and it's been 2 or 3 years, that grandfathering is gone.
Correct.
So we're here to help. If you have any questions, Luke, how do people reach out to you?
They can either reach my email at lbeaulac@leominster-ma.gov. It's LBEAULAC@leominster-ma.gov. Or they can reach the office at 978-962-3581, or my cell phone at 978-660-7487.
Here you go. And like I said, we're more than fair if people say, well, I need 10 days to, comply. We have people that businesses, and and most of the time, there are order of conditions.
Correct.
And many times, there are certain things that are required, but they may say to the planning board, the zoning board of appeals, it's kind of, I would like to have that particular thing waived, and there's usually a reason behind it. Mm-hmm. But there are usually orders of conditions, things that they've agreed to.
Correct.
It wasn't anything pushed. They were agreed to, okay, I'll do this. I'll plant trees on this property. We had to level everything because we had to bring in fill, and it would just kill the trees. So we leveled everything. But in exchange for that, we're going to bring in new trees into the area.
We've had that with a lot of some of the newer developments where sidewalks weren't necessarily needed on the property, but they said, hey, instead of doing the sidewalks, we're going to extend our grass out another 8 to 10 feet, and we're going to install 6 or 8 trees and have them there. So it looks
nice.
Correct. Yeah. It gives nice green space, gives a good kind of aura around it to make it way more aesthetic and way more kind of welcoming. So it's nice.
Well, good. Thank you for coming on. We'll have you on some
Absolutely.
more every once in a while, just to remind everybody that we have somebody that works for the city that, and the compliance part is also so that, we're working with other departments within the city. I know you work with the fire department a lot, and the building inspectors and everything. So
Correct.
We're working along them in case, they get busy and they don't have time to touch on some of these things, and we can be there to assist them.
Yeah, I work with DPW quite often. I work with the health department a lot. I'm actually working with them right now on some trash issues that we're having. So that's going to be a big one.
Right.
So.
We're working for resolution.
Correct.
That's what we're working for.
Yes,
we're not the angry community that's going to come down on everybody because you didn't mow your lawn. No. It's more than 3 inches or something. We're not doing that at all.
The last thing I want to do is send you to a lawyer or send you a fine.
Yeah, and we don't want to do that either because it ends up costing us a lot of money.
It costs us way more money in the end than what it's worth.
Right. All right, Luke, thanks a million.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
Luke Beaulac, and he's one of the, he's kind of a zoning coordinator and working with inspections. And there's a whole lot of pieces to that position, but
there's a lot.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot.
There's like every day there's more pieces to the puzzle. Yeah. All right, taking a short break, and we'll be right back. 978-534-1626. About, 35 minutes left, and so we can talk about anything you'd like if you want to give us a call. If you don't want to be sort of heard on, you want to just call and leave a message, Scott will take your message. You don't have to come on live if you don't want. I find a lot of people I'm like, why? I watch the show. I'm like, we'll call. And they're like, yeah, I get nervous about going on. That's why we got to do the podcast.
You can also email them too.
Yeah. Okay, what's the email address?
ltv@leominster.tv.
There you go. I'm anxious to do some podcasts because there are a number of guests that I've tried to get on. And they're like, oh, no, I just get too nervous and everything. But when you're just sitting around a table having a conversation, there's a microphone in front of you.
Yeah.
People are a little more relaxed. So I think we'll be able to do a lot more of that, Mr. Scott. Coming in September. It looks good in there. We got a little peek a couple of weeks ago, and it looks good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, John, come on up. John Churchill, ladies and gentlemen. John's an amazing guy, and I'll tell you, he has veteran written in his heart. And if there's any veteran that needs anything in this community, John steps up. I don't care what the event is. I don't care who needs help. And I'm going to tell you something about this guy. He does it all under the radar. It's probably killing him to be up here tonight. And he does it all from his heart because he knows how important it is, and he never expects a thank you from anybody. He feels it's his purpose and it's his passion. And John doesn't just stop here, but that's one of his biggest things. His whole bio is in the book, but I just would like to congratulate John, Citizen of the Year,
2024.
John, thank you. I think you inspire all of us how by these small acts of kindness can really, really grow the community. And thank you for all of the ways that you do that in Leominster and beyond.
We all need to go to your house again and do that 10 birthday event.
I want to thank the city and everybody for recognizing me. This is the last reason I do it for. Just as much as I do this to help others, it's therapeutic for me. It's a great, great sense of accomplishment and giving back. Today I heard from somebody I helped 20 years ago. I never even thought I'd remember this guy, but I did. We were down here a few years ago. I met a guy who had just lost his job, came up and gave me his last $10 and said, please put this towards helping the veterans out. I've always heard Leominster's a community, a tight-knit community, and I learned that firsthand. In helping veterans, came out and people got to see what we did, and then I started to get the support of the fire department, the police department, nurses, and so on. People who found out what we did and helped directly to those in need. So for that, I'm grateful. A lot of people say, how do you do this? How can I do it? It's easy. In today's day and age, start with a smile. Give back to someone. Say thank you. Pay somebody a compliment. If you see an old veteran, shake his hand. You see a cop or a firefighter, say thank you. You don't understand. Anybody in uniform would tell you, and their families would tell you, it's a great sacrifice that goes along with that. We forget about that. We forget that there's people out there for us every day of the year, every night. I think we kind of take them for granted. So it's easy to say thank you and give back, but please take a moment, start again, start with a smile, pay a compliment, very easy to do, but in today's day and age, there's nothing better than giving back, and the rewards you get will be tenfold from what you gave. So thank you all.
And we're back here at Inside Leominster, about another 30 minutes or so. And if you, again, 978-534-1626, we'll always interrupt what we're doing, no matter what, to take your call if you'd like. And if not, you can email, call, whatever you'd like to do. We don't mind at all. So you can even text me or message me on Facebook. We get back on the Facebook here. Live, you can always message me and ask a question that way, if you'd like. So there you go. Yeah, we're there. Okay. I don't see any questions. Oh, let's get back here. Yeah, there you go. All right. Anyway, we're back. And a couple things. Let me see if I can get myself sorted out here. Our Lady of the Lake. Have you ever been up to their 48th bazaar this year? Their parish bazaar this year is the 6th and the 7th. That's Friday 5 to 10 and Saturday 12 noon to 10 at night. Takes a lot of volunteers, but if you've never been up, you've got to get up there. They're very organized, well done. They have this like flea market, potluck kind of thing. A flea market, and treasure trove, I guess they call it. And you can find some really cool stuff there. Anyway, coming up on the 6th and the 7th. Elephant tape, all that cool stuff. Now, tomorrow, if you weren't up at Shoreland Farms today, picking peaches, Saturday from 8 to 11. Now, September 3rd, they're going to open full time, but until now, it's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You should see these peaches. You got to get up there to get those peaches and blueberries. I don't know if the raspberries are ready, but I know the blueberries are. 8 to 11, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Now, early voting. Everybody wanted early voting, so I assume the place will be packed. It starts this Saturday, the 24th, from 9 to 5 at City Hall. Sunday, August 25th, 8 to 12. Then Monday, all next week, it'll be 8:30 to 4, except for Thursday, which will be 5:30. So anyway, Election Day for primary is September 3rd. Polls open at 7. They close at 8 o'clock at night. Now, if you want to register to vote, you can do so on Saturday, if you'd like, till 5. Last day to apply for a ballot by mail is Monday, August 26th at 5. And if your last day for in-person absentee voting is 5 o'clock Friday, August 30th. Now, this is for the primary, okay? Yeah. Okay, another big event coming up. You might want to get your pencil up for this. And I'll read them. Next Tuesday is Dining Under the Stars. That's down near Logan's. That whole section, we close it down, we have a live band. stage, live band. You can buy a beverage at one business and still walk around to the other areas. That's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. You should come down. I find it to be one of those events that everybody just ends up talking with everybody. You walk by someone, you think, how long you known this person? Well, I just met him. Well, it seems like you've known each other for a long time. No, just met each other. And then on Saturday, September 7th, if you're keeping track, Saturday, September 7th is the Farmers Market, 11 to 2. Then the grand finale, or should I say the trifecta, the 13th, these are all September. The 13th of September is the Food Truck Festival. Nice part of this is we will not be overlapping with the bazaar up at Our Lady of the Lake. And so September 13th, Food Truck Festival at 5. On the 14th will be the Johnny Appleseed Festival. And then on Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon will be the Johnny Appleseed Parade. Citywide yard sale is September 21st. But don't forget, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Can't miss those. Tonight I said Downtown Sounds, 5 to 8. Tonight, we do this every Thursday and Friday and Saturday night. And we just feature a local artist. Stop by, grab a lunch, grab a pizza downtown, a sub, whatever. Or bring your own lunch. Yeah. Morgan Ace, is it Elsie? Elise? Something like that. Allyse, Morgan. And tomorrow night's Jukebox Jake, and then Riverside Riot on Saturday, the 24th. Geez, everything's coming up so quickly. In fact, let me look for my little program here, because I think this weekend on the 24th is Holy Family Bazaar. It's their international fair. So I've got to look for that. There's just so much here. There's so much to do. And if you use social media, you can go to It's Happening in Leominster. Have you signed up for that, Scott? It's Happening in Leominster. And what you're going to get is all the different events happening around. So all week long, you're thinking, yeah, I'm busy, I don't have time for this, don't have time. Then all of a sudden, Thursday and Friday night, you start thinking, geez, we want to take the family, I got some friends coming out. What can we do around here? Well, it's going to be on It's Happening in Leominster. Or maybe you want to invite friends and family to come out for the festival or the parade or the food truck festival and, show off. And if that's the case, you can, let them know. Email them and say, look, I don't know if you're around, but the 13th, 14th, and 15th, all kinds of stuff planned here in the city of Leominster. And then after that is the citywide yard sale, which I hope I can. Last time, I think it rained or it started to rain or whatever, but I didn't get out to too many places. Too much going on all at once. Yeah, so the International Food Festival, wait a minute, is it only 10 to 3 on Saturday? I guess. Is that right? Looks like Saturday the 24th, 10 to 3. Food booths from a variety of countries, yard sales, potluck raffles. As you do your summer cleaning, put aside items. They'll take those items on Saturday morning. No TVs or anything like that. Yeah, it looks like 8 to 10 in the morning. If you want to leave things off there, they'll take them. But they won't take things like books and records and magazines and DVDs and tapes of videos, gym equipment and electronics, no TVs or anything, stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess it's coming up. I thought it went to the nighttime. Geez, Saturday, I have to get to a lot of places in a short amount of time, Mr. Scott. Okay, Leominster Rec Department, they just lined up with things that they've got going on. Leominster-ma.gov, or you can go to It's Happening in Leominster, or you can go to their website, which is leominster-ma.gov/rec department, or MyRec. So leominsterma.myrec.com. So next week, they have coming up, let's see, on the 26th is Challenge Island STEM program for kids 6 to 9. Let's see, what else? They have their entire fall brochure available for you. Registration's open on the 27th. Can you believe, is next week the last week of the month already?
Yes.
Already?
Already, yeah.
Seems like it was the first, and I was saying, hey, there's 5 Fridays and 5 Saturdays. in the month of August, and they're gone. That's it. We're down to it. So the fall brochure, we don't have a print version anymore. People just go online, leominster-ma.gov, and you can register there. Everything is, click on Rec Department. Everything you could possibly ever need is there. And next week, speaking of the Rec Department at Barrett Park, we have a pop-up library. And basically, you have a library that's on wheels, and we bring it down to you. And you can get books, you can check out books, you can return books, you can set up for a library card. 40 Barrett Parkway, if you've never been to Barrett Park. So that's next Thursday from 10 to 11:30. See what we got going here. We have a blood drive coming up. We always fill out. Mass General is always impressed when they come out here. We always max out the amount of people that they can take blood from. So Thursday, September 5th, if you're interested at all. Thursday, September 5th. And then our friends who have been so helpful to so many organizations in town at F-Troop. Never heard of them? They're a motorcycle group. They do a lot of events in town. They raise a lot of money and help us out. Their Summerfest today is September 15th. And barbecue, music, and a ride. Registration's at 10. Kickstand's up at 11. Get your tickets at American Harley Davidson or call Tony. ZZ Top LaStella at, let's see, what's Tony's number? 978-537-3070. This all happens at the Eagles, all right? We'll remind you. I promise. I'll remind you. Hey, don't forget another couple of weeks, the library will be open on Sundays. We close for the summer, so we can fit in all the vacations for employees, but they already have September, the whole month planned out at the public library. Now, this year, we started something a couple years ago. We got many of the departments together, and we said, come vacation time, Christmas, holiday vacation, spring vacation, Easter vacation, whatever it is, kids are on their electronic devices all the time. Parents want to do something with them. They've taken some time off to spend some time with them. But what can we do, right? What can we do that's more entertaining than an electronic device, right? Anybody could use a break from one of those. So we started to get together and putting a whole schedule of events for a week of holiday, after the holiday. So we do all the spend a holiday in Leominster things, but then after that, what happens? Nothing? Well, we used to do first night, but we found out spreading it out was better. And so we do these, we'll do a week. We did a week of rec department programs, put out we put a whole schedule out. And boy, what a response. So for the summer schedule, we did the same thing. And I'll tell you, there were so many things to do. The water park is still open, by the way. There was so much for these kids to do between the school department, the city, the Boys and Girls Club, the rec department, the library. I mean, and churches this year had various camps that they ran. So all in all, it was a busy summer, and it continues at the rec department and the senior center, as well as the Leominster Public Library. So they have everything lined up. They're going to be open starting the 8th. They will open, they'll open the 8th from 1 to 5, and then every Sunday after that, the public library will be open. All right, something cool we've added. We used to have the Hispanic Heritage event, and for some reason we had it like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. We moved it. It's going to be, and it'll be on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I think we were trying to do it in conjunction with like National Hispanic Heritage Day or something. So now we've just said, you know what? Let's make it fun. Let's make it a party. Now it's moved to a Friday night. Friday night, food, music, the drill, right? Gonna have a lot of fun and a lot of food. And it's the 27th, 5 to 8, right downtown at Monument Square. Don't forget tonight, Stomp and Holler is over at Carter Park. Stomp and Holler, 7 o'clock. Got to try to get there tonight. Got to try. All right, so I've seen some changing of leaves. As I was walking in here today, I see acorns falling from the trees. I heard some geese early the other morning. Today was the last day that it will be light out. The sun will rise before 6 o'clock. Now it's going to start, it's going to be later, 6:02, 6:03, you know the drill. And remember, it's getting light at like 4:30, and it's getting darker early. But that just means to start thinking about the things that you want to do for the fall. And that's what we're doing in the city is we're looking at all our projects saying, okay, what do we need to, let's start at the end. The end is winter. What do we need to get done in the city before winter? So we want to wrap up that Route 12 project in front of Water Tower Plaza. That's finish of the sidewalks, do the blacktop. That's all going to be the top coat of blacktop, linings, finish up the rail trail, that section there that we had to do temporarily, and then put landscape in. Remember, we're going to landscape that area at Water Tower Plaza out front there. So interesting things that are happening, and we realize, this is the time to start thinking about getting your wood, right? If you burn wood, let's get that wood in there. Let's get it stacked. You want to get your pellets ordered, get those stacked. Start thinking about, put a plan together. Maybe, you want to put a plan to, get to Shoreland Farms and, all the trails that we have in the city. We're going to do up a map just showing a highlight of where all the open space and trails and parks are in the city of Leominster. There is some trails I haven't been to. I'll bet you there's at least a dozen or more trails that I've tried to get to that I just haven't been to yet. So all of that is just to say winter's coming, and we're in New England. We do get winter, and the holidays are coming. But from September on until January, everything just flies by. It just moves so quickly. So start to think about planning. And one of the things you want to plan is we're giving away free trees. Free. They'll come and plant them and everything. This is the best time of the year. From here on in is the best time of the year. If you want more information about that free tree, 617-626-1514. They have 50 different species of trees. We've planted over 3,000 trees. How's that? So, and the other thing is, if you're going to reseed your lawn, if you're going to plant a new lawn, you can do any of those things. Not only is the weather better, right, because it's been so hot and humid, but it's the best time. Less weeds are going to come in as a result. All right, we only have 15 minutes left, and if you have any questions, 978-534-1626. A little tip of the water. Look how clear that water looks there, huh? A little clear plastic glass. It's got the recyclable circle on the bottom. All right, so we finally get some updates. Oh, big thank you to our DPW crews, our electricians, everybody working down at Doyle Field. So if you went by Fournier Field at all, you'll see they replaced all the lights down there. In-house, we did the job in-house. We hired a crane operator and some other things, but in-house we did it. We saved thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, and hundreds of thousands of dollars over at Doyle Field. So that's where they are now. So a big thank you to them. All right, here's the numbers. Let's look at the numbers. This is 7 days. If you thought COVID was going to go away from 2019, 2020, it just hasn't happened. And here we are, 4 years later, going on 5, and still talking about COVID. So here's the latest numbers. This is what we know. In 7 days in Massachusetts, 2,218. Look down at the bottom here. We are at 18, so we've dropped 7 from where we were. And as of this past week, we have confirmed 15 deaths from COVID around the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Hey, it's Be an Angel Day today. It's National Burger Day, Take Your Cat to the Vet Day, and National Tooth Fairy Day. Now, tooth fairies, that's turned into quite a business. It used to be $1 or 50 cents. I don't know what you got from the tooth fairy, but from what I hear, the tooth fairy is laying out some serious cash lately. $5, $10, $20, I guess. It's World Plant Milk Day. I still haven't figured it out. So plant milk would be like soy milk or something? Almond moisture. I thought it was like milkweed. I have milkweed. That's a plant, milkweed.
Yeah, technically it's a
And butterflies and bugs like, and pets like, or I don't know, somebody likes milkweed. I do. I used to like the fuzzy stuff in the end. Hey, 1956, Elvis Presley begins that movie, Love Me Tender. 1966, the Beatles arrived and did 2 press conferences in New York City, one for the press and one for the fans. But I don't know how anybody heard anything because everybody was screaming. So they had one for the fans, like, what could you ask them? Could you please quiet down, please? 1984, Republican convention in Dallas nominates President Ronald Reagan and Vice President George H.W. Bush. 1987, Madonna did that song, and it went to #1. Who's that girl? 1994 DNA from O.J. Simpson linked himself to the murder of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman. And in 2018, Forbes says George Clooney made more money in a single year, $239 million, than any other actor ever. And then in 2022, Dr. Anthony Fauci announced that he's going to be stepping down as the chief medical advisor to the United States president and the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. What a title. Next slide. Pictures of the week, everybody. Geez, this is the 4th week, for the record, that I've been here early. And I want to note it, I was here like 10 minutes early today.
Oh, it's noted.
And it's not like I have to prepare before I come here. I'm actually preparing on the way. So that way I can think about, what else we need to add to the program. And if we have guests, what sort of questions do I want to make sure I ask those guests? So here's pictures of the week, and I never know what they are, so surprise, surprise, or as Gomer Pyle would say, Shazam, right? Jim Nabors, he'd say, right? He'd say Shazam. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, right? Bring me back to the screen here before we go to pictures of the week. There are a lot of TV shows, old TV shows that you can watch, and it's like, wow, I really enjoy that. And some you just can't. What was that? I'm trying to think. The Waltons. It was really good while it was on, but I tried to go back and watch it one day, and I'm like, is it the Waltons? I don't know. It was still good, but it was a little bit depressing. Like each episode was a little bit depressing. So, but if you go back and watch Andy Griffin, it's been 60 years, and you go back and watch it. They're just as funny, if not funnier. Because you pick up every time you watch. We must have seen each episode about 5 and 6 times. There's a few that we've only seen once or twice, and occasionally one comes up. But nothing. Barney Fife, it never gets old with Barney Fife, right?
Dick Van Dyke is still hilarious.
Dick Van Dyke is still hilarious. There are a lot of shows that are just still good when you watch them, and just to hear, Barney Fife say, "Nip it, nip it." Nip it in the bud, right? Nip it, right? And some of the sayings, and some of his, his visuals, right? Some of the expressions he has. So anyway, I just find that interesting. Some of them, you go back 67 years and you can watch him, and it's.
Barney Miller's still good.
Yeah, Barney Miller. Of course, I'm really behind on the times in terms of watching programs. So some of these things are from 1990, and we're just starting to dabble in them. All right, let's go back to pictures of the week. Look at us on Good Morning America. Can you believe it? Leominster's #7 in the most popular location to buy a house. How's that? Which makes it even more interesting is that people in Boston were seeking out Leominster. And they could tell this on Realtor.com because they know exactly, as you're searching around, they know exactly what you're looking for. And they were looking for houses in Leominster more than any other area even around them. So the whole metropolitan area, Boston was looking at Leominster more than any other area. And for obviously a lot of good reasons, right? We're I guess the most affordable when you're heading west. People don't have to work. A lot of people don't have to work in Boston or in the city anymore. But I'll tell you, every day it looks like there's double the amount of people. It's like they say everybody works from home, but who are all these people on Route 2 and coming home at night? Who are these people? What are you doing? Thought you worked from home. So there are a number of reasons, affordability, and everybody had a reason, like, well, highway access and this and that. But it really came to light when people on social media commented who moved here from other locations and said, hey, I'm from Everett, I'm from Medford, I'm from Boston. I moved to Leominster, and here's why, and I'm glad I did. And we love all the festivals in town. We like the schools, all the parks. We can get to the mountain if we want to go skiing. We get to the mountain if we want to just go, drive up to the top of the mountain and look at all the views, right? All the trails in Leominster. So there were a number of things that came up as a result of why, so people were commenting on why people were coming here and saying, well, they came here because it's convenient, or they came here because it's right off the highway. But then the people that actually moved here and bought a house here said, well, that's some of it, but there's a lot more to it too. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, Downtown Sounds every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah, last week, we had a little tip jar. He opens the case there. You play any instruments, Scott?
No.
No. How about Josiah? You do? What do you play?
I play viola and oboe.
Come on. That's cool. I never knew that. How come will you come on some night and play?
He's got it direct.
Okay. Lemonade everywhere. Man, there was, and a couple of news channels came, WBC called. It was just fun. The biggest thing is getting the kids on TV and seeing them, and just like you did the production here, it was really nice. They did a nice job. It was good weather. The police came out, the fire came out, they gave awards, DPW gave awards. It was really fun. We had a lot of fun. And, good use of the park. It's exactly why we designed it. And we had bubbles. Lemonade from high above. Wendy climbs up into the tower at City Hall. Look at that. This was like when it was just getting started. I think they just gotten set up, and they were just getting started. But later on, if you look, you see all the people that came out. It was incredible. All right, Leominster Trikes are coming to Leominster. New Leominster Trikes. New Trikes are coming to Leominster. Sorry. And we're going to be using these trikes downtown. We're going to be using them on the rail trails. We're going to be using them through our parks. These things can zip around. They can go, you can be downtown, and you get a call down near the rail trail. You want to check the rail trail. You can buzz down at 25, 30 miles an hour on the rail trail. Make a good run. You could run through Doyle Field and then come back downtown. You can get down to the southern part of the downtown. This thing is amazing. Go along the Monoosnock Brook. These things are amazing, and they've got siren on them and lights. And so we're getting a couple, and you'll see them out there. Best Beer Fest is busy, busy, busy. It was nice. You paid $10 to get in, but $15 the day of the event. And then you go out and you can actually test the different beers. They were good. There were a couple that ended up backing out because they didn't have the staff to come. Last minute they backed out, but it was a great event. And it's one of those things like the Dining Under the Stars. You could talk to everybody. Everybody, hey, did you try this? People come up like, oh, man, you got to try this one, and you got to try this one. And I go over and try it. We had a good time. Excellent. So great job. And there's the new Center for Excellence. It's the old industrial hardware, and it's ready for school opening. They're ready to go. And yeah, Center for Excellence and the Leominster Academy have been two growing programs in our schools, and now they're going to have their own building. And it's such an opportunity. Not all kids learn in a conventional, they get to the high school, it's 2,000 kids up there. Not everybody learns in that environment. Some kids need a different environment, and this is the perfect space. And Technical Review, this is when we take projects. Again, we're not here to stop a project, we're here to advise them. We want to make sure that they understand what is needed for a project, so we review it. Workers Credit Union is moving from Twin City. They're going down the Water Tower Plaza. They're going to put a temporary location very soon. They actually started working already. A temporary location at Water Tower Plaza, right near Barnes & Noble. And then they're going to have a permanent building, which will be ready in about a year. And we're there to tell them to just, give them the heads up about things that they might not know about, which in the end will, is going to end up saving them, right? I think so, sure. And the Neshoba Hearing Packed House. I was glad to be there to support these people. They've worked so hard. And people get emotionally charged about everything. We get parochial about things. We're ownership. We take pride in what we do. There is no way. And let's hope that Health Alliance and UMass jumps in and saves that area, because that is geographically located in a spot that makes it very difficult for people to get to hospital services, emergency room. Not to mention what the response time is going to be for ambulances and paramedics and equipment that you're going to need if they do close that hospital. The turnaround time, you're talking 20 minutes. It's a long time. And a lot of those calls, the shortest distance is to actually Health Alliance Leominster. So a lot of those emergency vehicles are going to be coming to Leominster emergency room. So we're advocating to keep the hospital open, but still for extra funding for emergency medical services so they can get to those people as fast as they can. And there's just going to be a lot of stacked calls, and we're going to have to mutual aid to back each other up in the meantime. But this is, there is no way. This is not like an optional thing. And they really have to consider this. And I hope the state and the governor and I know the representatives and everybody have said they're willing to take whatever funding is needed to give them a bridge until they can find a permanent owner. So you don't want to close it down. You want to keep it open until you get another owner. All right, are we done here? Hey, it looks like we're done. And the back room there, back in production, did a great job tonight. We want to thank our guest. Thank you for watching, and good night, and God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. Thanks for showing up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success. EnterpriseBanking.com.
This is LTV.